All right. Hi, everybody. So nice to meet everyone. I'm Sarah. I'm one of the executive directors and leaders at LEMD, and we are doing a Power of Peptides today. So, really, how this is going to go is you got invited by somebody just to hear about how this works. How peptides work. It's very new to a lot of people. We are a longevity telehealth company. I've been with them for about a year and a half now. I have my own very transformational story with it that I started. Sorry, my dog's over here. Um, that started about 3 years ago with it. I lost 50 pounds, lots of inflammation, mental health changes. And I'm also now pregnant with like an absolute miracle. And there's a lot of data out there talking about how these peptides can actually help with fertility too. And I think that actually made a huge difference. But enough about me. I'm going to be passing this over to Courtney. She's one of the amazing brand partners within the company. She also has a very impactful story. So I'm going to hand it over to her and you're going to hear a few more stories and then we'll wrap it up with how it works too.
Great. Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah.
Oh, why does your story make me emotional every time? Is it the menopausal me? But hi everybody. My name is Courtney Reed, and I am so happy to have you here. I could talk peptides all day, every day. I dream about them at night because they have literally been life-changing for me as well. And that's the thing I love is the stories that we bring into that come with this. It's not just here's a supplement, here's something for you to try. It's life-changing stories. I myself went through breast cancer treatment in 2022, 23, and my diagnosis completely caught me by surprise. I was the healthy person, the healthy girl who got cancer, and it literally knocked me on my butt. And at the end of treatment, I was left in this menopausal body that I did not recognize and didn't know what to do. This is when I stumbled into the world of peptides, and they literally have changed my life for the better in every way. I also found out during this process, this journey, that I have the MTHFR gene, which just means my body does not detox well. And so it's just all of these light bulbs have went off over the last year and a half since I've started using peptides that have literally, like I said, been life changing. Since microdosing a GLP-1, GIP, tirzepatide, I lost the 20 pounds that I gained through treatment. But even beyond that, I lost the inflammation. I lost the joint pain. I now can sleep again. And so I feel like, so blessed to not only be a breast cancer survivor, but I'm actually thriving. I, can get on the ground and play with my grandkids and have the energy that I need to do the things I want to do all day. So, just super excited to have you here. And I am going to now turn it over to Connie Elke. Connie is a wife, a mother, a grandmother, a retired school occupational therapist, a three-time breast cancer survivor. She's passionate about health and wellness and wants to help women her age who are dealing with the challenges of menopause, the effects of cancer, and the struggles of losing weight. You're up, Connie.
Mom, you have to unmute it. I think you got it.
There we go.
There we go. Now,
Hi, I am really excited to be here. Hi, Kate. I see you just came in. A colleague of mine from my days working in schools as an OT. I am thrilled to, say that I have had success with taking a GLP-1 for about 10 months, and I've lost almost 40 pounds, and I have not felt this good in years. And I have been under the care of an oncologist, an endocrinologist, and of course, my regular PC. And, all my doctors are really surprised and delighted with some of the changes in my health, my weight, my lab numbers, my cholesterol, my just all these numbers. I had trouble with my liver numbers. I was got to had to see an endocrinologist because of my liver numbers. And I've had some thyroid issues. They found a nodule on my thyroid. So although, I've been healthy for the last 10 years, and have been cancer free, all these other things would be coming up: osteoporosis, just joint pain, inflammation, and energy way down, just down energy, can't sleep at night. So when Sarah told me about these peptides, and she said, Mom, this might be something that would be helpful for you. So yeah, I got breast cancer for the first time when I was 42 years old. I had a lumpectomy, went through chemo, radiation, and I found it very early, and it was small, and I kind of breezed through everything, but it really made me stop and think about, where am I going with my life? And so I had to really make some changes about how I treat my stress, and I learned how to meditate and do yoga. And I've always been a little bit on the athletic side. My husband and I used to run races. So fast forward to 2013, my cancer came back, and it just threw me, for a loop. I had just was so surprised that this happened to me. So at that point, I had a double mastectomy, and I went through reconstruction. And I'm here to say that, I always had this feeling that I was going to be okay. I always had I had this knowing that I just needed to do what I needed, the best things I could do for myself, and I would get through this. And so I got through that, got back to work, went and got my another degree so that I had my master's degree, started working in the schools. But then 3 years later, it came back again. And at that point, I had to do some, pretty serious radiation and chemo. But, I am cancer free now since 2016. And these peptides I know are going to support my health as I age. I turned 70 years old last year. And I tell you, I feel better now than I have in many years. So I'm just happy to be here to share my story.
Amazing. And you look amazing. You are
Thank you.
glowing. Ah, so
Thank you.
amazing. So happy to see
I'm
you.
fitting in clothes that I have not fit in many years. I actually wore Sarah's expecting a baby in a couple of weeks. We had a shower for her last fall, and the dress that I wore for her shower 10 years ago, I could not even pull that dress up over my hips 2 years ago. And I was really sad because it was an expensive dress. I don't usually spend very much on dresses, but this was an expensive dress. And so this summer I tried that dress on, and I slipped it on and zipped it up, and I'm wearing this to Sarah's shower. This is just amazing to me. So I feel
Love it.
just wonderful. I've never
They
felt
really,
so
they
good.
really have this. I don't really like the word reverse aging, but like that is really what they bring.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is the way that you feel when you lose that inflammation and just feel good in your own skin. It is literally reverse aging. Thank you so much for
absolutely
sharing.
is. I
Yeah.
totally
So
I want
happy
to
agree.
that
share a
you're doing
quick
so well.
aside too. Like my mom and dad, like they're like the super grandparents too, like just so active in my son's life, and they're gonna be the same with my little girl. So like what an amazing tool, to have, for both of them, because I'm like, Dad,
Absolutely.
just to feel their best, and to keep up the way they want to too. So anyway,
Well, and when you've been through things like what your mom's been through, it's nothing you take for granted. It's an absolute blessing to be here and to be able to be so involved with your kids and grandkids and to feel incredible doing it.
Absolutely. Yep.
Blessing. Okay, we're going to move on to Brooke Goodrich. Brooke is a fat loss coach, hormone health and wellness advocate. She helps women bridge between midlife, menopause, weight gain, and helps women get results that are here to stay. And Brooke has an incredible story as well. I'm so excited for her to share.
Okay. Hi, guys. I'm Brooke. I'm 53 years old. Um, I don't know kind of where to start my story because I have a few of them going on. But I had a full hysterectomy back in 2017. And then about 6 months later, I had a life-changing knee surgery. I was a respiratory therapist and I worked at the hospital for like 14 years at that point. And anyway, I ended up having 9 knee surgeries. 3.5 years of physical therapy, learning how to walk again. And then so between the menopause and that, it was just ridiculous. And I gained quite a bit of weight from that. And basically, they just slapped a patch on me and told me to go on my way, like, oh, just that's, if you gain weight, that's life. And I felt like crap. And so, we'll fast forward a little bit. I started getting severe, severe body aches, and my skin was always on fire. And so I got tested, and it came back that I had Epstein-Barr, which any of you know that comes from the monovirus. I never had it, but some of my kids had it growing up, so I carried it, and it turned into Epstein-Barr. So anytime I'm stressed, anytime I'm sick, it flares up. I also have the MTHFR gene mutation on both sides, so my body does not detox at all. And so I was getting IVs, monthly IVs. I started with that to try to help, and it was helping. I got high vitamin C, and I was adding glutathione in it, which if any of you have taken glutathione, it's a master antioxidant and it's a liver detoxifier, which are kind of like the two main things. And so I started doing that to try to help my body detox. And while I'm not perfect, I'm getting better. Um, so now I take glutathione twice weekly, to try to build my immune system up because I have no immune system with the Epstein-Barr virus. Glutathione is also cancer preventative because it's a liver detoxifier. And so because of my MTHFR gene mutation, my sister had rectal cancer at 17, my maternal grandmother and my aunt had breast cancer, and my grandfather also had a cancer. And so, I'm kind of attributing that they probably have the MTHFR gene mutation as well. And so I'm trying to do all the preventative things with that. And I also, for inflammation, I just a month ago started doing a really low dose of the microdose of the GLP to see if we can kind of reduce some of the fiery feeling that I have on my skin. So that's kind of my to be continued story. I was able to get through my weight gain and stuff through fitness and nutrition that I did. I started as a body coach. Now I'm a faster way to fat loss coach. And basically, I follow an anti-inflammatory diet for that. And that helped me get like my last like 12 pounds off. And so right now my goal is not necessarily to lose weight, but to decrease inflammation in my body so that it can function and not break down all the time. So I'm doing glutathione now, and I'm microdosing the GLP and just kind of seeing where it will go from there.
And I love that because we hear GLP or peptides and it just goes to weight loss. And you have such a different story and such an impactful story about the things that you're navigating. And look at you. Hello. You look amazing. I know
Oh,
you don't
thanks.
always feel amazing, but you are doing the things and you are getting there. And if you guys want to follow someone fun on social media, go follow Brooke. She makes my day every day. It is so fun. Thank you, Brooke.
Thanks.
Okay, now we're going to hear from Janelle Villabella. She is a wife, a homeschool mom of four. She owns multiple businesses. She helps women break through their health and to help build lives of vitality, freedom, and legacy. Janelle, you're up.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I have to say, it is a little emotional listening to these stories. We didn't get a chance to really hear each other's stories. But that is one of the things I've loved so much coming into LEMD. I'm just here 7 weeks on my peptide journey. And I feel absolutely incredible. But to hear all the stories that are being shared weekly is just it's so life-giving. It's so life-giving. It's exactly what I was looking for. I am 45, live here in Western Wyoming. My husband and I run multiple businesses. We have 4 kiddos, including a surprise number 4 that came 10 months ago. And I had been struggling with perimenopause. I didn't really know and have the language for it because I'll just be honest, I really know nothing about women's health. And I was shocked to find out that I'm aging and that everything that I have been feeling probably for like the last 5 to 7 years is in that perimenopause category. I just was clueless. I have been passionate about fitness and nutrition for about 20 years when, my life changed with understanding the power behind supplementation. And I'd say that carried me for about 10 years. And in the last 10 years, I have been extremely frustrated because I know what optimal health feels like. I've experienced it before, but no matter what I did, exercise, nutritional method, innovative supplements, I could not find that vitality on the inside that I know is available to me and to all of us. And so that's left me frustrated, spending a lot every month. And ultimately, it was about 40 pounds, that has crept up over the years. And after having baby number 4 and just realizing something needed to change, and doing the exact same thing over and over was not going to get me where I needed to be, I really began to pray. I have been in a state of prayer probably for 7 years for an answer. And I saw Courtney on social media, and this is just an encouragement of how powerful it is to live our life out loud, right? Not perfect, but she shared her journey, and my spirit just really resonated with her. Everything that she's overcome, her faith, um, her value for safety and purity. I found myself drawn to the peptide conversation, but I also found myself repelled from what seemed to be kind of like the noise around a weight loss shot. I didn't want like what they were calling a quick fix, which I've come to find out isn't one. But there was just so much noise out there. But at the same time, I still felt drawn to like that maybe there was something for me. So I continued to do research. I saw Courtney's story. She invited me into the community. And what I found was just this culture of longevity, of optimal health, of regeneration at the cellular level. And I can't believe in 7 weeks being on a pretty like what would you say, Courtney? I call it, it's not the starter dose, but I'm not ramping up significantly. So pretty, even dose of tirzepatide, the GLP-1, GIP, and glutathione. I have never felt better. I tell everyone I feel like my youth is being renewed, and that is no exaggeration. Like I feel so supported. Nothing stress wise in our life has changed, but I feel so supported in my mind, which is allowing me to be supported in my emotions. Um, I've released 11 pounds, and that's wonderful. But greater than that, because I have experienced weight loss before, is whatever is happening all on the inside of me is what I'm like, this is so powerful. Everyone deserves to feel this way. So I'm just so grateful to be here and to feel like I have a tool that I can invite other women into. My mama's on this call and she's going to be starting her journey. And, I believe God has given us this life to live abundantly. And what good is life if it has no quality to it? But we can change that. And so I'm so hopeful and excited about my journey, but also helping other women connect to theirs here. So thank you, Courtney, for living your story out loud.
Oh, it's amazing. It's
All
amazing,
of
you
you.
guys. And I'm just so proud of you, Janelle. And I love hearing your story and where you are today. And when we started talking, Janelle had many, many questions, which I invite. Bring all the questions because there's so much out there. And this really is about education. And once we are educated, then we're empowered and we can decide if this is right for us. And she made that decision and jumped in, and look at where she is today. So thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to turn it back over to Sarah, and we're going to talk about a few more things before we wrap up. And these stories are just so inspiring, and I just can't wait to share more.
Yes. Thank you so much. Okay, so oh, you guys can see all my tabs. It's just like my brain. Okay, so we're gonna go over just some of just the science behind it. I'm gonna be going through these very fast because this is more like an introduction. We can do a Q&A, get all your questions answered, but these are gonna cover some of the main things that you want to know. And we're really going to be talking more about GLP-1s, but there is an entire world of longevity peptides as well that's also offered by the company. And one of the best ways to learn about them is honestly grab the link of whoever invited you. And there's so much information and education right on the website too. But just as like some basic education behind it. So the science of peptides is really what peptides are. You might hear this a lot in the world, whether it's online or wherever that is. But all they are communications signals. They're short chain amino acids naturally occurring in the body. Okay. And then GLP-1s are a type of peptide. They're a metabolic signaling peptide, though. So GLP-1 is a peptide your body naturally already makes, okay? So it's like a text message between your gut, your brain, metabolism. It signals fullness, appetite, blood sugar balance. And they're actually finding that it does a lot more than that. But again, I want to keep this really simple and basic for everyone right now, especially since for a lot of people, this is your first introduction to it. And then what a GLP-1 agonist is, which is what we are talking about here when people actually take a therapeutic peptide, is that your native natural GLP-1 in your body is broken down by enzymes within minutes, right? GLP-1 agonists, though, mimic your GLP-1 but resist this breakdown. So this allows that signal to be active in your body longer. And that's why it works. That's why people feel more full. It works on their appetite, works on their blood sugar balance, right? And really, they're different than traditional medication like a blood pressure med or a high cholesterol med. Peptides are more like text messages that support those natural signals and pathways in your body. But drugs are more like a command where they actually act on or they block those pathways in your body, right? So, traditional medication versus peptides, they both have a place. But, the context obviously matters too. One thing as an aside too, if you aren't used to Zoom, if you look at the bottom of the screen, you'll see a little chat icon. So feel free to click on that chat icon. And if you have questions and want to type them in, feel free to do that. And we'll do a Q&A at the end too for you guys. So I also want to touch on GLP-1s go beyond weight loss. Okay. It's not just about the weight loss. This is a big reason why both my parents are on this too. And I think it's just such a great tool for longevity. But there is a lot of research that's showing that is huge for cardiovascular health. And it is not just from the weight loss that it helps the cardiovascular health. They're actually showing that the GLP-1 agonists, so that's your tirzepatide, semaglutide, actually reduces cardiovascular risk and improves outcomes as well with multiple huge studies with big sample sizes. It's exciting stuff. They're also showing some neuroprotection as well. So they're being studied for cognitive and neurologic support, prevention of Alzheimer's, dementia. They're showing some promising data, even with Parkinson's disease as well. Inflammation reduction, huge improvements of inflammatory markers and metabolic inflammation. That was a huge part of my story. I think a lot of our infertility journey had to do with inflammation myself. It also helps with metabolic resistance, so insulin sensitivity, glucose regulation, overall metabolic health. They're also showing some kidney protection too, which I think is really exciting. So from an anesthesia perspective, what I really see with my patient population is a lot of people with chronic disease, they have all the same things. It is hypertension, it is sleep apnea, it's high cholesterol, it's diabetes, and then sometimes it also impacts their kidneys as well. So it's super exciting to have a tool that actually works for preventative health because there's so many people I talk to who have these chronic diseases and they do all of the things with exercise and trying to eat right, and the weight just doesn't come off, the inflammation just doesn't come off, nothing changes, right? But with this is a real tool that I've told people this before. I have not had anyone that really gets started on it with the right coaching, doing the lifestyle habits, because this is not a quick fix, that has not seen amazing results too. So it's fun for me. Really quick touch on myths and misinformation. Okay, so this will cover some of the questions you guys have. They cause muscle loss. GLP-1s are not the cause of muscle loss. Muscle loss can happen from any sort of underfueling, lack of resistance training, whether you get a gastric sleeve bariatric surgery or you go on a super intense diet as well, you're going to lose muscle. So it's not from being on a GLP-1, okay? And then if you give it the right support and muscle preservation, it can actually grow. I have actually a good friend of mine. She's the mom of one of my son's friends. I just met with her for coffee yesterday, and she said her muscle actually went up being on a microdose of GLP-1 because she did it alongside strength training, and she lost like about 10 pounds. And she's like, this has to be all inflammation because I've been doing so many different things. I feel amazing. I feel better in the gym. So she's had a lot of positive results. The severe side effects, that's another thing you'll see sensationalized sometimes in the media. And this really has to do with how your body's adjusting. Many people are on way too high of a dose. So, what LEMD does and the telehealth company we work with does is that they start low and they go slow. So, it's just enough to get you results and then you slowly go up. So, really, people are not experiencing intense side effects. And it also has to do with your habits as well. Are you properly hydrating? Are you using electrolytes? Are you eating protein? Are you eating fiber, dense nutrients? Are you moving, right? My mom's super lucky on here. I'm always on. Like, are you guys going? They're going to the gym. I'm making sure they're doing their protein. I'm like, oh, here's a good protein shake you guys should use. So it really does help alongside of it. Another one is you'll gain it all back. Like once you stop, you gain it all back. Like, and here's the thing is it's a tool, not a cure. And it's all about the behavior changes and the habits. So you can always stop, if you choose, you can wean it off. I would not say ever cut it like cold turkey, and you'll talk with your provider as well. We have an entire doctor team that works with the company that manages your care. You can slowly back off of it, and people do. And as long as you keep those good habits, you will keep the weight off. Some people choose to go on a very small maintenance dose because they love the effects of it. It's like blood pressure medicine. If you come off a blood pressure med, your blood pressure is going to go up, right? Same thing with like pain meds. Same thing with the anesthesia. If I shut the anesthesia off, it's going to stop working, right? Um, and then the last one's synthetic versus natural. And there's a lot of confusion around this too. Synthetic doesn't automatically mean harmful, and natural automatically doesn't mean safe. Okay, so your endogenous, which just means the GLP-1 that your body naturally has a very short half-life that we talked to with rapid enzymatic breakdown. It's like the DPP4 enzyme that breaks it down, okay? So it doesn't really work, right? So even for some of these like natural versions out there, sure, it can increase your GLP-1 naturally. That's great. It's still going to get broken down within minutes and not really have much of an effect. So if you're spending a lot of money on a natural supplement version of it, I would just, when you know more, you can do better too. And Courtney, feel free to interrupt me at any time if you have anything to add too. But if you're interested and like, you're like, okay, I'm ready to like check this out, get started. You'll want to head to the LEMD link. Okay, it's good. I have the URL at the end here because you want to use one of the brand partners links. The way the company works, and the CEO is like, she's like female, like empowerment, and she's wonderful. She loves to build community. She had a choice. She could have hired a big marketing firm, done paid Google ads, which are super expensive, done traditional marketing techniques, but she noticed, especially with peptides, that a lot of it is word of mouth. And she really wanted to build a community around it too and empower regular people who are using the peptides, getting amazing results. I know for me, that's the whole reason I even found this company is I had a lot of people asking me, like, Sarah, like, what's a good place? Like, where should I get this? And I wanted to find a good company I could refer them to. And I was like, oh, this is brilliant that they have these referral links that people can get, right? So you'll want to get your referral link from whoever invited you. Then you want to make a free patient slash customer account, and that's going to give you access. You can see all the peptides on the website. And then you're going to want to choose your peptide. So there's lots of information there, but I want to give you kind of just a quick breakdown of the two main ones that you can choose from. There's GLP-1, which is a single agonist. So what you'll recognize this with like big pharma as Wegovy is the weight loss version, Ozempic is the diabetes version of it. Okay, but generic is semaglutide, and that's around 15 to 17% total weight loss. Okay, lots of great benefits. The one that's a little more effective because it's a dual agonist is the GLP-1 slash GIP. Okay, so when you go to the LEMD website, you're going to see it listed as GLP-1, or you have a choice of GLP-1 slash GIP. It's a little more expensive, but there's higher weight loss with it. And also there's less of a chance of getting side effects with this one too. So trade name for this one is Zepbound, or the other one is Manjaro if you're using this for type 2 diabetes. And here's the thing too, there's lots of medications out there that are used for different reasons, but it's the same medication. So that's kind of why it gets a little confusing too. We also have a weight loss version. So if you're wanting to lose it's like 25, 30, 40. I mean, we have people who've lost 100, 120 pounds on these peptides. I personally think they're going to replace bariatric surgery someday. Um, you want to do the weight loss version. Okay. And all that is you start at the smallest dose and then you go up every 4 weeks with it, depending on how well it's working for you. Some people don't have to go up very high. And side effects. Everybody is different. Do not compare your journey to anyone else. There's also the microdose version. So that's what Janelle was talking about. She's just on a really small amount, perimenopause symptoms, 10 pounds, inflammation. That is such a great option too. And then the cool thing about LEMD is we also have personalization options too. So you'll see on the website, they're going to take you through everything, but you can have B12 for energy on there. There's L-carnitine that helps with muscle preservation. So that's like an added benefit of getting it from this company too. So basically, like this is again how it works. You fill out a questionnaire online. You go through a medical review with one of our board certified physicians. Okay. And then the 503A pharmacy approves it too. Me working with drugs all the time in my 9 to 5 job with anesthesia, that was super important to me. I wanted something that was really safe, reputable, goes through all the third party testing, best purity, all of that. And it's really what I found here too. And I wanted to feel good about recommending this to family members and friends and things like that too, who trust me. So once you choose your peptide, you're going to hit purchase and just remember too that it's a 3 month supply. And the reason we do that, and the company does that, is it decreases the amount that is spent on shipping. These are refrigerated peptides, okay? So it does cost quite a bit of money to ship. So that helps keeps the pricing down. The whole mission of the company is to make these more affordable and more accessible for people too. Also, a lot of people that go into any sort of weight loss journey have a failure mindset where they've tried so many things and it doesn't work. You give up after a month, okay? But this is not a quick fix. This is a tool, okay? So really committing to 3 months to see results is so important. Some people it takes 6 months because really these first few doses of it are not a therapeutic dose for weight loss. Sometimes people need a higher dose for it to really work for them too. And that takes time because you don't want to start too high and have any sort of side effect from it, okay? Fill out the questionnaire. We have multiple ways to purchase. You can pay for all 3 months up front, but you can also use Klarna, PayPal, or with the weight loss version, you do LEMD financing, and then you can pay monthly too. You're still going to get all 3 months in one package, but you can pay monthly, so it's not as big of a commitment. Okay. And then it takes 7 to 10 days for business days. Okay, so that doesn't include holidays or weekends for delivery. We have people getting them way sooner, but I would rather under promise and over deliver for this too. So thank you guys. I know that was very fast. I'm gonna go ahead and pause the recording or stop it.